thinking, and this is something that I haven't decided on, so I'm not making any promises. But I am thinking that slightly leverage style, I might want different characters to become leads on occasion in this series. So the first two are Prudence, but I can see Primrose getting her own book for a bit. So it's still the same cast, but it has a different main character. I think that would just be very fun to write. Yeah, and then I could give them all different romances too. It always makes me happy. Yeah.
So, Prudence is apparently an only child, at least up to page 38 in this book. She's an only child.
I very carefully haven't said anything on this matter.
Okay, well, I'm only on page 38. Will I know differently by the end of the book?
And then here's the secret. So Solus taught me a lot of things. And it was Douglas Adams who said, never blow up the earth in chapter 1 because you might need it later. So the Gail version of that might be never make it so your vampires and werewolves can't go in a dirigible because you might need them to float later. So I've learned never to put anything into a book in case I might need it. So she might have a sibling if I need a sibling. But that she currently does not. And so far as we're halfway through the second book and we still don't. So I think she might be an only child. Hard to tell. Let me get you and then you and then.
So what supernatural power did you want?
Oh. Well, the problem is the consequence of supernatural powers is immortality, and I actually am virulently against immortality. I would hate to be immortal. That's why I write. It's the easiest way to be immortal, I suppose, without having the consequences shoved down your throat or teeth. So yeah, I love the idea of shapeshifting, so I think that's super appealing. But the vampires have the corner of the market on fashion, so I think I'm probably a queen in the end. Yes, in the green shirt.
So you have your empire, you have your universe. Do you ever feel constrained by it? Do you ever want to do something completely different, like, I don't know, hard-boiled detective fiction?
Well, I did do Crud Rat, and that was really easy for me. So I wrote Crud Rat like sort of halfway in the middle of Parasol Protected World, and that's sci-fi, pretty much straight sort of Heinleinian sci-fi. So clearly I can do that sort of thing. The voice is very different. It's not comedic. It has comedic elements, but it's very kind of straight-laced. So yes, but not so much that it like troubles me. I'm more troubled by characters that I feel like have unfinished stories. So it's often side characters that I'm like, oh, I need to, like, they'll wake me up in the middle of the night. Although that said, I have one short story that's contemporary called Marine Biology, and those characters and I had a little bit of a disagreement recently because that's a pack of werewolves in modern day that has recently moved to San Francisco and apparently, according to my brain, would like to get into the food truck business. So there's a short story that wants to happen there. So
that's a lot of hair
and it's molecular gastronomy that they're into, right? It's like, anyway, so yeah, that's the way my brain works. But no, I partly I think that comes from what I grew up reading, which is I've always really admired like Mercedes Lackey and Anne McCaffrey, who basically, yeah, they built themselves a sandbox and then just sort of happily played in it. And the sandbox expanded if you want it to, but so that's kind of, I like that, and I don't feel really trapped by it at all. No, I'm excited by it. I had somebody else. Oh yeah.
Are you likely to take, because you've got a lot of your little short stories about the other characters online. I'm kind of electronically retarded when it comes to stuff.
Oh, you want to print?
Yes. Basically, all your short stories there and put them into one compendium.
Yes.
I mean, Patricia Briggs has done that. I mean.
Yeah. Once I have enough. I just don't have enough for the word count, frankly. So the idea would be to do some novella length stuff at 30 to 50, and then combine say 3 together, and then bring a book out.
Well, because I was going, damn, I don't have an e-reader. I'm not gonna read these.
It's part of it is I'm such a control freak that I like the numbers game you can play as a hybrid author when you have some control over seeing exactly where things go and how they sell, and I'm excited by Gantt charts and Excel spreadsheets. I'm an archaeologist, everything has to be categorized. So that's part of it, and and part of it is is just this is a new exciting world that publishing is moving into, and but don't worry, I love my publishing house, and books will continue to come out in print.
Good.
Don't worry.
That's the Luddites need them.
And possibly faster than they did before. You never know.
So I'm not saying that it's St. Patrick's Day and there's drinking to be done, but we're only taking one more question from the audience.
Who's doing the drinking?
You haven't asked one, so yes.
Do you have any more notions of doing another YA series?
Currently, no. I'm pretty happy with the way the Finishing School series went, and I'm not exactly delighted by the experience of the publishing side of young adults. It's a whole different world, and it's a lot of schools visits and awkwardness and
Connubial calisthenics.
it's just so I love YA, and I feel like my voice is really comfortable YA, and the length is really comfortable for me, which is one of the reasons I'm excited by doing like novella length stuff, because that's already kind of comfortably where I write. But currently, no, I'm not ruling it completely out. There is Cred Rat still, and I want to write a second one for that. But it's going to be adult, or kind of, I guess somebody accused Prudence of being sort of new adult, which I'll take it. I call it new adult because it's my new adult series. I think maybe they've taken that the wrong way. All right, I guess that's it. I guess we're going to sign some books, and you'll feel free to ask me when you're in line.
All right, so listen